Episode 245. You guys think I would remember those episodes? I don't. Pretty sure I have to ask what episode it is. But here we are. Ben, late. We'll have him on eventually. Maybe he'll just sneak in. But Nick's here. Josh is here.
Sorry.
And ladies and gentlemen.
That'll do, my friends.
Evan Kearns is back. We had a lot of disc golf news to talk about, and so it only makes sense. Evan's got the deets.
Yeah, why not bring in the best?
Hey.
We brought in
OTB?
the PDGA. We brought in Statmando.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go.
OTB.
Appreciate
best
that.
person of the day.
Best person.
I'm the greatest guest you could have gotten for this post-major
Exactly.
episode. That is complete sarcasm for people who are not seeing through that. But I do appreciate the hype for joining the show. Back again after a few months, maybe even 3. I don't even know. It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
Well,
I have a question though, Kearns. Did you come down and play Meadowbrook recently?
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay, so we saw on our Instagram story,
Yeah, we all
and it was a
got
bomb of a drive on hole 1 by Kearns,
no.
and
Okay.
it took me a second to realize it, but you were about 30 feet in front of the tee.
Okay, yeah. So I play a flex start event at Meadowbrook on Friday with Ben Kenny, Jacob Ruminos, and an incredible kid named Evan. I think he's 13 years old, and he shot the best out of any one of the cards. So I jumped in the finish there. Yeah, I'm last to tee. I go to throw my shot on hole 1, which, you know, you can get a lot of distance on if you're good. But it's a little bit uphill, and I just throw this thing dead straight into the hill and made it like, I think 30 feet is maybe
generous.
pushing it.
Yeah.
It did not go far.
After you threw, is this what you said?
That'll do, my friends.
I don't even know what I said. It was probably something like, "Welp, is what it is." But let me continue the story. I second shot, phenomenal. Got to the crest of the hill, and I essentially birdied it from there. So that's great. I parked it. It
Sick.
was pretty windy, and it kind of like just sparked on windy. So your practice button wasn't really as windy. I got the same score as Ben.
Nice.
Pretty sure I got the same score as Jacob in our group. The other kid, Evan, I'm pretty sure birdied it. The 13-year-old.
Oh, yeah, I just saw him
So
today.
I parred it and I tied. So I tied Ben on that hole, and then I proceeded to beat Ben by like 8 strokes in the round. So it was not Ben's best day. So I'm not going to kick that guy while he's not on the show and down.
I say, is that why he's not here yet?
Yeah, we doubled up and went over to Westy Acres and played 2 flexes in one day. And we played different layouts there because they pretty much have a layout for every division.
Yeah.
And I do not play the same division as Ben. I do admit that. But rating wise, I beat him in that round.
Nice.
So
Westy's such a fun place too. Both them, Meadowbrook and Westy.
yeah.
Great places.
Also, to like hype myself up a little bit longer and talk about myself instead of the major that we just had and the other major we just had, the 2 majors in the weekend. But to talk about myself instead, I shot the hot round when I finished. It was a morning round at Meadowbrook. I was like beating everyone by a good amount of strokes. I thought I had it. After I finished my next round, I checked the scores, and I was going to say kid. I have no clue their age. But this person was, 2 down. I finished 1 down. They were 2 down through 8, and then just stayed at that, and then went 3 down. I'm like, no. And so I lost the lead, came in second there. But then at Westy Acres, I also came in second and was chasing down the leader and almost eagled 18. Like, it was actually pretty close to eagling it to tie, but missed that putt, which was incredible that I was even there.
Kearns on fire.
Shot way above my rating both rounds. And so it was a great day for myself. I had a blast, and just playing disc golf is always good. So we'll end the things about me there, I think.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, let's talk about some pros.
Fun fact. I was just hanging out with Jake, and you said his last name, and I was trying so hard the other day to get his last name correct. He goes, Matt, on the show, maybe there's this thing you can do where you just kind of just get my last name out there, officially, and it's Romanos.
oh my goodness, I wasn't even close.
No.
I said Ruminos.
Yeah, which
I
is
was
what
calling him
always say.
Ruminos all through
Okay.
all through both.
So I
rounds.
always said stuff like that too. Literally, the whole round I was playing the other day at Maple League, he's like, "It's this, it's this, it's this," and so it's drilled in my head. So I did that for you, Jake. Romanos. And he's gonna go, no,
Romanos?
you didn't. Romanos. He's gonna say you didn't.
I still got it wrong.
So
Like,
think,
wait, so like
okay.
think
ramen.
Ray, think
Oh.
Ray Romano.
Yeah.
Except it's Romanos. So there you
Okay.
go. It's
I
still
think I can
tough.
do
It's
that.
going to take you a while, but Jake,
Yeah.
shout out to you. Okay, before we go any further, though, shout out to TitanDiscGolf.com. We already had it on the screen with Josh and my hat being worn, displaying that like a billboard. But TitanDiscGolf.com Similar branding. You know Matt Schlabach and Gannon sponsored by Titan Disc Golf, but there's a little difference here. TitanDiscGolf.com. You can support this effort specifically by visiting TitanDiscGolf.com. They have competitive pricing. They have thousands. I think is it 35,000 plus discs, and they're all very unique. You can shop each one specifically. There's no reason not to go to these guys besides the fact. No, there's no reason. You want to support them, you want to support us, know where the money's going, and supporting an awesome business startup. So check them out. Thanks, Titan Disc Golf, for supporting us. So yeah, Josh, I think it was pre-show. You just got done with how many hours of running in the mountains?
Yeah, so today was a little different. I mean, it was a 13-hour day. That includes some driving and some mountain biking and some hiking with my wife. So she said, let's go do a big mountain. And so we did a 4,000 footer in the Whites. And so, yeah, this is the least academically prepared I've been for a show in a while, but I took in not all of the coverage. I took in a lot of the coverage, by the way, including some 4:30 a.m. FPO coverage. I'm just going to say right now. I don't know if anybody else did that.
Wake up.
I had another reason to be awake at that time. However, I did watch. It was a good day, long day, but I'm here ready to talk about the major. I've said this on the show. Anybody watches, I love major season. I know that's not unique. But anytime a major comes around, for me, it ratchets up at least 50%. Just my attention, my care, the storylines, prioritizing some consumption of the live, all of that. So yeah, stoked to talk about it.
There is so many different stories to be talked about. Evan's going to have stats, which will probably stir conversation, but there's probably stuff that even he won't bring up that I'll bring up, because we all know I'll bring up crazy things that don't make sense. But we're going to have conversations on a lot of things tonight. So I think at the time of recording, we called this episode, what happened at the European Disc Golf Festival? ? Exclamation mark. What happened? There is so much. So Evan is our guest. I was going to say no extra guest, as in interviews. Someone else asked me if we're going to have someone. It's just really tough, the European stretch. There's all different opportunities. I know you're going to say people we could bring in here in the States. Let us know who you think then, but it's got to be relevant. And then we got Worlds coming up. It could be a little bit. We're going to hold down the talk though. And we appreciate you guys always tuning in. Cause you have nothing else better to do than to listen to us. I don't know if that's true, but you do it because we're your last resort. That's maybe what it is, but all right, here we are. I don't know exactly how we want to do this, but I think we want to break it down by, let's just start the old school way, Evan, a little bit of recap on what you saw happen. Maybe just results wise and then we'll start getting into all the outlier discussions related to it. But let's start there if you don't mind, if you're ready to do that too. This is old school.
Yeah. Certainly ready. Let's hit the results first, but then I got deep topics even about the results. But let's get into it. Let's start off with the winners of both divisions at the European Disc Golf Festival. Which, first of all, this event, a newer event to the Major and Elite Series scene. It was in a Disc Golf Pro Tour event last year. It held, or I should say the course and likely the same organizers, held the European Disc Golf Championship the year prior in 2023. And now this event is secured in for majors for this really foreseeable future. I know next year is going to be a major, Worlds in 2029. They are ready for disc golf and all in over in Estonia, and the first time that Estonia has now hosted a PDGA major. And so we have Calvin Heimberg winning in a sprint to the finish, making a 42-foot putt to win his first major title, and absolutely insane finish. A sprint to the finish was as true as I can say that, with that monster putt on 18 after he missed a pretty easy circle one putt on 17 to really clinch it. Gannonburg would need to ace the final hole in order to make it a story. And he misses that kind of sitter of a putt to make it interesting. Lands circle two while Gannonburg lands just outside bullseye. And he's making that. So in my head, I'm like, this is a playoff. What is happening here? More disc golf. But no, Calvin just sinks that 42-footer and more on his putting in a second. But I want to jump over to the...
Okay, pause on that, reacts to that. So I'm curious, the pulse here in the show. Did you want a playoff more than you wanted, let's say, Calvin or Gannon to win? Or did you say, no, I want Calvin to win? Like, if you had to say where you were leaning more, what was your lean? Or did you not care?
Is this open-ended or is it just forever?
Yeah, I mean, or did you just want to, like, you didn't care how it unfolded? It was exciting either way. Or, I mean, Gannon winning, would that have been exciting for you?
It was definitely exciting either way because, as like Evan said, it was a sprint to the finish, right? It was just birdies all over the place. You know, Calvin didn't have a single bogey the final round, and Gannon had one bogey the final round.
But is Calvin winning more exciting than Gannon winning?
Yes, because it's the underdog.
Okay, so you would say maybe that'd be a preference, is that Calvin would have won.
Yeah.
Okay. What about a playoff?
For the most part, yeah. But I think no matter what, everyone wants extra holes. Like,
that's what I was going to say.
Everyone wants
or
a playoff. Yeah, of course. If you
I would
could,
not have wanted to see a playoff happen that way. It would have been just fine. But I was tired out after Krokel's playoff.
Oh, well, I was going to say, it depends. What was the playoff structure? Was it they go up to 18 and throw a Spike Kaiser 5 times in a row? Or did they, what was the playoff structure? But
I do not know.
I doubt that was the case, but we don't need to get into that part. But as far as playoff goes, I think, this is tough, right? Like, you got to set aside friendships and all that. I think for the sport, it would have been cool to see a playoff happen. I think it's really ultimately cool to see these new winners. I know Calvin's not a new winner, but a new major winner. That, I don't know. Would you have seen that same excitement out of Gannon? I don't think so. I think he would have held his disc up, kind of maybe fist pumped a little bit.
If Gannon had made a 42-footer to win the major, I think you see a lot of excitement. Yeah,
for sure. It is.
I mean,
does
Calvin,
feel
it's going to be exactly. It's someone who's never won a major winning it for the first time, and someone who has X amount of majors. I don't know exactly how Gannon has, but he has a major win, right? So the excitement's obviously going to be a little bit more for Calvin. I would say a lot a bit more, but I think we would have seen kind of a let's go and jumping towards the basket from Gannon as well.
I want to know if
not Ricky level excitement, but
I want to know if Statmando Evan has any kind of like gauge or meter on like the amount of emotions like shown, right? Relative to like baseline. Like if it's relative to baseline, then Heimberg like spiked off the meter. And by the way, like even my family kind of watching it, like, they're obviously disc golf fans. They don't watch it the same extent I do, but they recognize, they're like, wow, that's the biggest like he's ever like smiled and fist pumped. And you notice it took about like 90 seconds or so, and he was back to himself.
Yeah,
pretty quick. And he smiled again later, of course. But it was just like, wow.
Besides the ace at Ledgestone a year or two ago, that was another moment of emotion. But this was the only other reflective time where I can remember that happening for him that way. People always know that that long running joke of Matt hates Calvin Heimberg. I think this to me leads to a bigger question, which we can talk about a little bit later. And I'll tease it out here. Does this like solidify more his legacy, who he is, because he's such of the last 4 or 5 years, he's right there with the best, most consistent player, but this major is a big deal. So we can talk about that. Ben Kenny did join us. Ben, I'll pose it to you. Do you want Gannon to win every time? Or is it like, hey, like in that moment, I was hoping Calvin hit it? Or did you want a playoff?
I want Gannon to win every time. Every single time.
We're just going to be transparent on this show. We like Paul Macbeth. We like Gannon Burge.
No, I am transparent. I mean, he's literally my boss. So I want him to win every time. Him winning helps me in some sort of way. The more money he makes, the more money I could potentially make. I mean, we don't have a bonus structure like that. I'm just saying, like in the future.
You don't have bonuses for when he wins tournaments. You don't get a bonus.
No, that wouldn't make sense. Actually, I will say, shout out to Gannon. He's one of the more generous people on tour. He pays the people that caddy for him. I was not expecting to get paid last year, and he paid me and we won GMC, and he paid me a good amount. And I know he does that for every single one of his caddies, other than Matt. So
that kind of I just wanted to jump in there, reactions to that, because that moment was like exciting, and it wouldn't have felt like, to me, it wouldn't have felt like Calvin choked it up. I know that putt you talked about, Evan, 17, I think, right? That was questionable to me. Was that a choke, or was that just like, I missed a little right on the basket, or something like that. So, but I don't feel like it would have been a choke to miss that 45-footer or whatever it was. It would have been like, okay, they both did what they had to do to get to this point, and they did it. One more thing before we jump to FPO. The way that it was Krokel. The way that Krokel went down in that playoff, right? And the winner won almost by default because a putt was missed. And so it was kind of like boring. It was like the missed putt and you have to cheer. Like, yay, this other guy won because you missed. I was so grateful that Calvin hit that too. It was like winning on a huge putt as opposed to someone missing and the other guy gets to walk it in and lay up. It's just, that's an epic moment. You can't buy that. So congrats to Calvin. All right, let's move into FPO, Evan.
Yeah. And even when he makes that putt, it certainly was like a little bit awkward when the other players had a putt and they weren't gimmies. So you kind of had to think about it. So you had this huge moment and then, just how it plays out, of course, they're not going to all play out and then let Calvin putt the putt. It's not going to change any other way. And it is what it is.
Now you try to make your 45 footer. We all tapped out.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be wild if we did that, but we don't. But okay. Moving on to earlier in the day. Silva Sardin wins her first major in an epic fashion. She shoots the hot round, which Calvin Heimberg also shot the hot round. So they both shoot hot round to chase down winners to win their first major. The parallels here are kind of crazy. First major of Silva Sardin's career. The note here is, of course, going to be Kristen Lott coming into the day with the lead and then missing a number of circle one putts. But to leave it on Silva Sardin for a little more is this is now the third time that she has beaten Kristen Lott outright in a tournament, which was a huge kind of like monkey off her back just like a month ago at the Ale Open. And then she does it again out at was it the Preserve? Why am I blanking on that now? Over in the U.S. Preserve. Yep. And then now for a third time, she just solidifies that she can beat Kristen on any given weekend, and she did here to win her first major. And so what that also means is this is the first time since 2018 PDGA Pro Worlds that we've seen two first-time winners in MPO and FPO at a pro major, which is pretty incredible that we see it go down the way it did in similar fashions for everything going in between those two divisions. So I'll hand it over to you guys. Silva Sardin getting her first major win.
Awesome.
We got to give her credit. And then you said she now confidently anywhere, anytime can beat Kristen. I'm half on that. It depends on this broken toe controversy we're going to have to figure out. But long story short, she's done it. She did it again. There is a trend. And it's showing that she's good. And I feel like I have to repose that question to Ben that we asked a few weeks ago, which was like, who's favored for Worlds? And if he says it again, I'm going to have to ask him why he says that.
Silva.
Do you feel like different about this? Like
I do feel more different now for sure.
Okay,
With the broken toe, with
Bless you.
With the broken toe, with just I don't know, just like her not being as locked in, during these events, kind of throwing events away, which I don't think we've ever really seen. She's always the one catching up and taking advantage of people throwing the events away. So yeah, I think I'm still going to pick her, but
it's in your heart.
Skeptical.
So we don't need to stay on that topic. We can bring that up later. But congrats to Silva, and she is so fun to watch win these in an interesting way, right? You see the Calvin like pumping, like this is her first major.
She's stone cold.
Yeah, and she just kind of is like, all right, this just happened. Like, what's next?
Two of our most, notably wearing their emotions on their sleeves players.
Yeah.
Or sarcasm, not at all. But hey, Matt, you said you're gonna tee it up, and Evan, maybe you've got other things to bring up, but obviously we can talk about the putting challenges in the back nine for Kristen. That's clearly a conversation. But also worth noting that Silva went 6 down through the final 9 holes. So just what I'm getting at is the question of did Kristen lose it or did Silva win it? What's really weird here is, at least in my opinion, is I actually think both are kind of true, and I know that's a cop out. Kristen obviously could have and should have won it, and the way it went down is just kind of unacceptable, and we can debate why that happened. But Silva, you can only do what you can do. And by the way, if you go through all 4 rounds, Silva had a better back nine than Kristen did in any of the 4 rounds. So my point being is she went out and also took it. Now, granted, you can't make up those strokes if Kristen doesn't also give them up. But point being is staring at an opportunity, going 6 down to the final 9, you're kind of reaching out and grabbing it. You're saying if Kristen's going to falter here, then I'm going to execute. And she really executed right down to the end. And so, in fact, really the only excitement was the fact that Kristen had those mess ups on hole 11 and hole 17. And hard to call that excitement because really nobody's rooting for that. It's actually like awkward. I know it means we get to talk about it on our show and everything, but when you watch it, like the word is probably overused, but it's kind of cringe, right? Like, because you're just wondering what is happening. You feel bad for the person. You wonder where like the mental game is at. You want the physical stuff, which we can talk about. It's just like, oh my goodness.
Let's come back to that topic in full after this, like readout. But let's remember to do that because she's made a post that I think sheds a little bit of light on what's going on. And I know we've talked about it now for a few weeks. So
can we talk about Silva's Instagram post?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw it. It's incredible.
Do it.
One-time major champion.
Oh,
that's the post. And then it's like 6 pictures. That's
remember
the post.
we love her post? That is so perfect.
Dude,
it's also
great.
she does live interviews and everything, right? It's like
it's just straight to the point. One-time major champion.
well, and what's funny is as much as it doesn't match, probably I'm being generic here, stereotypical, but match our world's expectations of what that should look like. It actually kind of is like epic in its own right. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, this is who I am, and you're gonna get
who I am.
What I am.
I love it. Yeah, it's just.
I hope if I'm gonna say when she gets another, it's just like 2-time,
exactly,
3-time, and just like count. It's just like
it's gonna be 2-time in 2 weeks. So.
Tally marks, just keep
yeah.
it up.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
What else? Again, there's a lot of topics to be had here, and I think one other in FPO I saw, Cadence Burge, disappointed with her finish, but it's a top 10 at a major. That I don't know how many times I can keep saying let's come back to these topics, but with Cadence Burge, she's a whole topic right now of like in a first year quote first year player. I realize she has experience, but this is her first year dedicating pretty full time. Man, it's hard to sometimes go all in and be like, this is the real deal on the first season. But if I was a betting man, I'm going to bet that she's the real deal and she'll be a top 10 or a contender for the rest of her career. That's a big statement, but that's like after I'm just seeing what I'm seeing between Krokel, even the top 10, and she's not happy with it. And the performance she's had, she's won, like pretty sure. I don't think that's an exaggeration. Does anybody else agree with that? I don't think it's an exaggeration to say she's going to be a competitor at the top 10 or a winner for the rest of her career.
Yeah, based on the talent and what we've seen, for sure. Like the only thing is in our sport, you never know what somebody's level of commitment will be long term.
Right.
If she says, because fairly young, but if she says what she's saying, which is like, hey, I'm committed, why not? Like she's been slowly improving, and now it's like people break whatever metaphor you want to use. They break the ice, right? But they open the door, whatever it is. They get a taste of that victory, and it's like, all right, if they have the competitive drive, they get that taste and they say, that tastes good, I like that, then yeah, she's got the talent to do it.
So, yeah, I like your little commentary there on if she's, I don't know if you use the word committed or dedicated, but you're right. Like we see players like Heather Young. Now that's a name we haven't said a lot for a long time.
Yeah, some people are like, who? But she was looking pretty good there.
Yeah, but my point is exactly what your point is now, which is saying that it's up to the player, because if we see if she wants to, she's going to get it. That should be my take. But like, that's a good one. What else in FPO?
I got a few more down the leaderboard that I'll just quickly run through, and then I think it's worth coming back to Kristen and Silva. But
yes.
Third place, Ella Hansen. She gets her first major podium since the first major she ever played back in 2021 at U.S. Women's. This is her 16th major start. So quite a few in between her last two podiums. Holland Hanley finishes top 5, which continues her top 5 streak, which I know you guys have noticed all year. 100% in 2025, her 13th top 5 at Major League Series events.
Really good.
Valerie Mendojano finishes in 6th. Believe it or not, this is her first PDG event outside the United States, and also kind of wrote down that she's on a sneaky good run as of late. She finished 6th here, 6th at the Discmania Challenge, 5th at U.S. Women's, 4th Preserve, and 6th at Northwest in our recent events. Hasn't maybe been making the podium finishes, but certainly playing really well. And then one other name I want to mention, Cynthia Klesberga, which if you watch round 1 and of course round 2 being a lead card, she was leading this tournament after round 1. I believe she was the first card out on the opening round, shot the hot round, and then just no one could catch her. She takes the lead, earns her first ever major lead card appearance in her first ever major start of her career. She's rated 896 from Riga, Latvia, which I also wrote down is the same country that Kristaps Porzingis is from, in case you don't know where Latvia is or who is from there. But yeah, Kristaps Porzingis is a notable NBA player. But back to Cynthia, she's the first Latvian to ever make a FBO major lead card appearance, and she's the lowest rated FBO major post-round leader, which is a whole jumble of words to say. But first post-round leader in FBO major since 2004 PDGA Pro Worlds, when 883 rated Liddy Helgren was leading after round 1. And then also she's one of 5 players to make a major lead card appearance in their FPO major debut. 1 out of 5 in the last 20 years. Just mentioned Valerie Mandujano earlier. She was the last player to do this at 2019 Pro Worlds. And then final one on Cynthia. She is the first player to lead an FPO major with a PDGA number in the 200,000s. She is number, I totally lost it. 229526, which that's a member since 2022, which is pretty incredible that we're seeing players that high of numbers just shred in disc golf and be so good. So congrats to her. She ends up finishing last cash or tied for last cash, makes the cut, and then also gets cash. So probably still a fantastic performance by her, but leading after round 1, maybe that's hard to keep up. Maybe finishing last cash doesn't feel the best in some senses, but I'm sure that's a great finish for her.
Ben, Henna Blomus, she's still getting you close, but not. Oh, you're on mute. You're not quite getting it done. He's on mute. You guys can't hear him, right?
Nope.
Okay. Henna Blomus getting 4th place.
All right. Sorry, I'm here now. Not close enough is what I was saying. She's close, not close enough. We're right there. I mean, it's just the putt. She got to figure it out. I got to figure it out so I understand, but come on.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay. So there can be other storylines that come up for sure. But let's go a little bit to the Kristen topic for now. And then we'll definitely have other MPO topics. All this is surrounding this event. We don't have picks for Worlds coming up, Pop Drop Lock. That's not for another week. But we will
already put mine in.
Oh, wow. Kristen lot.
Had to.
We'll show you what our points were for this event. We'll update you on the long season standing and remind you that you have an option to play with Simon Lizotte if you win the whole thing. So Kristen, does anybody have her social media post right there? Anybody?
Yes.
Right. Okay, Josh, what does it say?
Voyage, and then I assume something in Estonian. And then this week I entered a space of love so vast it felt beyond time and space, and yet inside I was falling apart. My putting felt like it had left me completely. My body and mind were exhausted. But maybe that's what made the love and support around me even more profound. Thank you for holding me through it all. So, inside I was falling apart. My putting felt like it left me completely. Body and mind were exhausted. Maybe we can all react to that. I think if you go back and listen to some of our prior show, I forget what everybody else's reaction was, but talked about there's this aura of exhaustion, and that it's so hard to know, like, if it's a combination of body and mental. Her post seems to say both. Right. Last time she was in the US, she was just like, I'm just tired. I need to leave. I need to go home. So and then we hear some about injury. It's really interesting space right now. Like, to me, it's very nuanced. I'm curious what your all take is on that. But
yeah, it has to be pressure filled to be playing at this major, and knowing that you haven't been performing at the absolute peak, performing well. Remember, we're talking, I don't know if nuance is the right word here. Like she's the one of the best, if not the best FPO player. And I think it would be hard to say she's not the best FPO player. But Simon mentioned this on our show. Like Simon's like, I don't have to deal with the same thing she deals with, which is like being judged based off of win or not win. She's feeling all of that going into this major. She hadn't won 6 or 7 of the previous events. There has to be a load of pressure and putting on top of not feeling in the best headspace, maybe. Again, that's for her to decide, but the way she's kind of alluded to some of that. And then, did you guys find this, I don't know if unique's the right word or if it just makes sense. Maybe it just makes sense to announce like, hey, I have a broken toe at this event. Like, it makes sense, right? You're coming into a new event. It's the time to say something.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
do
she
you,
also chose not to play the Superstars?
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, she has to like say what's like.
True.
Maybe she doesn't have to. I'm saying there's like this sense of like I've got to say what's happening.
Would you rather hear it before the event or after the event? Like, do you feel like it's making an excuse before? So if she doesn't win, you don't feel, let's say, as bad. But then if she makes the post after, you're like, oh, well, they're just using that as an excuse now, right? Like, obviously, a broken toe is
I want
it's
it
big, right?
I'm telling you, I want it before the event.
Yeah. I feel like it's almost easier to
I see that.
cope with, I guess. I don't know. I feel like when sometimes they make the post after your event, you're just like, oh, well, they needed something to say why they lost,
Yeah.
right? And it's almost like that's the just sports in general, but that's the annoying part is that these players have to explain themselves to us. And it sucks because they shouldn't have to feel like they have to explain themselves. Like, if you've got a broken toe, that sucks. I'm sorry. I hope it heals and you get better. Like, I don't personally need an explanation on why this person isn't feeling 100% for this event. But there are so many people out there who feel like they're entitled to an opinion or entitled to an answer, I guess, on why that person didn't do well. And that's just sports in general. Like, this is coming from all, let's say, celebrities, but athletes especially.
It's interesting though, right? Because if and I'm going to say if because I'm not sure I buy it. And by the way, I'm not sure she's trying to sell anything. That's kind of Nick's point. But what I'm saying is not if it's real or not. It's like, but Nick, right? If it is impacting her results, I mean, she doesn't have to explain it, but she probably wants to.
Yeah.
Right? You'd be like, because otherwise everybody's going to be like, well, what's going on with Kristen? She can't win anymore. And it's like, well, no.
Well,
like,
why would you not
I'm
want
not
to?
100%.
The reason is because people will be critical either way, though. Like, so she's like, I don't want to do it because then people will say I'm making up excuses. I do want to do it because I want people to know the reality. Like, so she's a pretty transparent person. She posts like literally, I'm not feeling well, or I'm really longing for home, or whatever that chat GPT sounds like. She writes everything, but like it's the way she writes it is so beautiful. It's like I don't know, but I think I'm gonna say I'm totally okay with her talking about the broken toe. I don't think it was. At first I was like, is this going to be an excuse situation or is this reality? I think it's probably reality, but she's just trying to be transparent. But do you think her putting errors, this is now total speculation, do you think those putting errors are related to the toe or the mental, if you had to guess? Like, because we saw her lay up in the final round some putts that if you were going to try to win, at least with your normal game plan, I feel like you go for them. Even her. Like, she's not a known player for like laying up putts from the circle's edge. So... And even going, so it was just too much of that for me.
Yeah. I've never had a broken toe, so I don't know how much that would affect. I've never had a broken bone, so I don't know how much that would affect my putting aspect of it, but I think it's kind of, and this is me not knowing what that feels like, but almost 60-40, maybe 70-30 of, I think 60 or 70% of it is mental, and 30 or 40% of it is actually physical on why she may be going through a bad putting spell. This was also something kind of like talking about what we just were is, Matt, when you're traveling and you tell us, hey guys, I can't make it onto the show, like we feel an obligation to say why, right? Like we're not trying to make an excuse, but we have an explanation of, like for me, if I'm traveling during work or I know I'm not going to get home till 8:30 or 9 at night, it's, hey guys, can't make it on the show tonight. Like work caught up with me and I just won't be able to make it. I feel like that's kind of the same thing that these athletes do, where it's, essentially they're not trying to make an excuse. They're just trying to explain why they can't do something that they normally can do. And I don't know. I think it's tough because we all look at it and let's say we criticize them for that. It's like, oh, she's, number one in the world, but she's playing poorly right now. And we then see a post about a broken toe, and then it creates a whole conversation that we're having for 10, 15, 20 minutes about said broken toe.
Yeah.
And that's just where I don't know.
Physical and mental obviously are intertwined. I think we could acknowledge that, but there's just no way when you watch those 3 putts that you can say it was the toe. I just like, you cannot say that was the toe. Now, why I first said they're intertwined is it's possible that if you're having bad pain and it's messing up your stance and you're finally on hole 11, it's wearing you down because the physical is messing up your performance. Like, right. So then at that point, it's like, well, the physical kind of kicked off the mental, right? So I understand that. I'll acknowledge that. But even like the first miss when it's like an air, why do I always want to call it air ball? It's not an air ball, an air disc. Right. But then it's like, okay, that might happen. But then the comeback again, right? Like, I mean, you can't miss that. It was almost a drop in. So what I'm just saying is like, it appeared rushed. It appeared like there's a lot of anxiety happening. And that's why I say that's not the toe. Now, again, I'm going to say the toe may be a catalyst for the anxiety, but it just seemed, and by the way, her post seems to say, like, inside. I was falling apart inside. My putt felt like it left me completely, right? My body and mind were exhausted. And a toe may be a catalyst for that, but like, there was just a bigger thing going on. And to me, it was just like, she held it together all the way until then. And then one error broke the dam. Like, and, literally missing that putt completely. And then it was just like deflation.
So
it was just like the dam let go and that was it. She couldn't finish. Still had 2 more birdies, by the way, but, lost 4 strokes.
To kind of maybe wrap this up, unless, Ben or Evan have any comments, but to respond to Nick, I don't think I'm necessarily trying to say like, is this an excuse or not? I'm trying to understand where the balance between what's happening is. Maybe it is toe, maybe it is mental, right? But if it was, let's just say we were like, no, we really feel like this toe is literally all that it is, then it just tells me a different story to think about going forward, which is this just going to heal and get better? Maybe, we won't have issues from that point on. She won't. And that's just literally, that's what's holding her right now. That's why she's not getting these wins. But I think to Josh's point and what we see there's a different mental thing going on as well, which tells me, hey, I have a heel issue. The toe gets better and we're still going to have to be questioning this. I guess time will tell. That's what's fun about sports talk, right? We kind of get to speculate. So it's one or the other, but I think it's a mixture of both. And so if we're betting going into Worlds, it's definitely dropped down significantly, at least in my opinion. I probably am still going to pick her. Because to Josh's point from a few weeks ago, like if you're picking who in the whole field has the best chance, to Ben's point, it maybe got a little harder, but I still feel like it might be 5 rounds,
Kristen,
right? Worlds is 5 rounds, right, Evan?
Yes.
5 rounds.
Yes. Yeah, it will be.
So, I mean, it's like, I'd almost pick Paul Macbeth. Major in 5 rounds. I feel like
European Macbeth.
So, all right. Go
I
ahead,
got some stats to round out the Kristen talk.
Sure.
I feel like they're pretty notable to touch on, but it's also been a lot of negativity around Kristen Lott. So I don't mean to pile on it, but I think us talking about the negativity is a clear reason because she has been so great throughout the years. And so when she's not at this great level, which she almost won a major, so and almost won a major with these putting issues and broken toe and all of this. So I think you have to lead with that, but it's going to seem like I'm piling on here, but I think it's notable to cover. So she has now gone 4 majors without a win, a whole year of majors, so to speak. She has 1 major win in her last 7 major starts, and that one was last year's European Open, which, hey, good news. That's where we're going next week to play Pro Worlds. Since winning 5 straight majors in 2022 to 2023, with 2023 being the Grand Slam year, she has gone 6th, 5th, 1st, 3rd, 2nd, 6th, and 2nd. It's a lot of similar sounding places. But that's also incredible to finish top 6 in all these events in your kind of off time and not winning as much. But to then focus on the European Disc Golf Festival stats, she missed 19 Circle 1 putts, which is the most in an event she's ever had in the era of PDGA Live tracking throws. So the last 2 seasons. She had 16 missed Circle 1 putts at Crocal last week, which on a per 18 average is higher. But this one being 4 rounds, she had more chances to miss, of course. 60% Circle 1X putting, which is her second worst event, with Crocal being the worst again. And these past 2 weeks have been the only time she's ever been under 65% C1X in this era. She lost strokes gained putting, just barely, but at negative 0.93, which again is only the second time she's lost strokes gained putting with Crocal. In her final round, she was negative 5.16 strokes gained putting, which is... which was the worst by a round of her in this era, and it was the worst of anyone in the field on the final day. But all that to say, her Circle 2 putting was actually good this week, which is kind of odd with, all the toe debate and not feeling confident on the putting green. She gained a 5.43 strokes in Circle 2. Okay, that's where I was throwing myself off. The final round was negative 5 strokes gained putting lost. Sorry. But overall, she was positive 5.43 in strokes gained C2. So sorry if I confused anyone with that. Saying a lot of numbers here too, but hopefully they're all making context and making sense. But to round out Circle 2 putting, she was tied with Owen Scoggins for the most makes from Circle 2 with 7. And then also just to compare with Silva Sardin straight up, Kristen Lott had a better birdie rate, birdieing 30 out of 72 holes compared to only 27 from Silva Sardin, beat her in parked 7-2, and had 10 more holes that she was Circle 1 in regulation over Silva Sardin. On strokes gained tee to green, just rounding here, Kristen Lott was at 21 and Silva Sardin was at 13, so 8 strokes better tee to green. But then on the putting green over the whole weekend, she was rounding to negative 1 compared to Silva Sardin, who was 9. So a 10-stroke difference on the putting green. And that's the 2 strokes right there, of course. So beat Silva tee to green, but clearly lost on the putting green by more strokes in order to lose the event.
So there's a lot going on in the chat. I think people generally are saying that it's not as big of a deal as people are making it. It's a combination of the toe. It's a combination of the mental pressure. Before we move on from this, I guess it's a quick answer response, but wasn't last year at this event, not a major, but last year at this event where she went into the last round with a 16 stroke lead and won by like 1?
Yeah. So I had that and meant to throw that in that monologue. So thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah.
This was 2 years ago at the European Disc Golf Championship, the European only event. We just saw a similar one at Sula in Norway just a few weeks ago. She entered the final round with a 16-stroke lead over Silva Sardin. In the final round, proceeds to shoot 8 over 910 rated round, still wins by 3 strokes over Silva Sardin, but a 16-stroke lead, 2-3 strokes, with Silva Sardin actually shooting a great round, over 1,000 rated. But yeah, still wins by 3, but that's a lot of strokes to give up, and it probably felt like it was going to go away until, got the birdie on the final hole, which last year was a par 4. There's definitely some 2 years ago it was a par 4. There's definitely some changes since then. But yeah, rebounded at the final few holes probably to hold on to the win, but probably did not feel good going down the stretch of that event.
I bring that up because we said, is it the toe? Is it the mental pressure? It could be both of those, but then it could also be this course is just like, there's something about it for her, right? We all have those courses, even on our local level. You have that course, you're like, I don't play good there. I don't know how people play good there because I can't play good there. But so it's possible. I think she
played good enough to have. Yeah. She played good enough to have the lead all the way into right.
But I'm saying go back to this other event is what I'm talking about. 16-stroke lead, like getting down to 3-stroke win. Like I'm just saying, it's possible there's something here too that's part of it.
At her home course, actually, I don't know if that's fair to say. It's probably not her home course. It's obviously her homeland, which there's a lot of additional pressure there. I just think like when her post says she literally like her putting felt like it left her completely. Is not saying like my toe was hurting me.
Who can relate to that?
Oh, like I think all of us.
Jacob
probably,
Portis.
yeah.
I can relate to it.
Yeah.
At Westy, Evan, I know we already talked about, but
You heard me.
crap.
We heard Evan smoked you.
No, yes, but holy crap, Evan could not miss. It was like it's like imagine how bad I am at putting, and then one day I hit every single putt from circle 3, and then you're like, what? That's how it felt.
That's funny.
It was crazy. Yeah, I'm in a slump, bro. I've been playing so bad.
Yeah, I think
Don't
you
go
had
on tour, guys.
4 or maybe 5 putt on that one hole with the big mounts, elevated basket,
Okay.
essentially going back and forth.
Someone in the chat, I'll just pop it up because I actually think this is a good another topic. So Isaac Kristen combo worlds would be hype. Now, I don't want to go quite down that, but I do want to go is the Isaac Robinson conversation because I guarantee 90% of people after round 3 were like, Isaac's going to win it. Or after round 2, Isaac's going to win it. Whatever it was when he walked off the ace 15 down. Everyone's going.
I texted the group chat and just said, Isaac's insane. I'm not sure all of you had actually seen the ace or not yet, but I was just like, the way that all went
I
down.
didn't see it yet. Yeah.
So I'm bringing this topic up because I think I texted back to Josh and said something like, there's going to be a lot of people disappointed if this guy doesn't win it because it's a storyline. People are like bought into this is epic. This is amazing. You want those big stories. And he aces the last hole of the round to go 15 under. And you're thinking this post by Dixon Jowers that gets bought up every single time at a major now. It's just it's going to be a classic meme forever.
But it is. But I call foul on showing that meme for that event. That was a post about Worlds, and that was not a Worlds event. As soon as it came up, I'm like, that's it. Literally, the whole quote was talking about Worlds. Anyway, I know.
And with Isaac Robinson, it was about Worlds, even though he had PDGA Champions Cup to start his career. Back-to-back Worlds, but then he wins Champions Cup earlier this year, and I feel like that kind of was like debunked the Worlds only. And the first Champions Cup was a fluke.
I agree, but anyway, that was a side tangent. That post is fun, but you got to show it during the Worlds anyway.
Oh, I feel like it's kind of overshown, but I'm saying it's like a classic meme now. It's just gonna keep getting showed forever.
And I was with you because I think when Isaac in majors, it's when he gets that lead, he kind of just seems to like cinch it down
every time.
But one of the topics maybe we'll get to. We've been talking all about the performance and scores and players, but a little bit about the course itself and the venue, etc.
Yeah.
Right. But what I'm saying is I actually think that, and this is an obvious statement, but that played a role in the fact that Isaac couldn't just like sit on the lead and cinch it down. There's no playing conservative on that course. Like you got to throw a 16 down. So like you have to do every single throw, which is just interesting. And not that he didn't have to execute at his other Worlds wins. Of course he did. Like it was incredible. But there's something to be said for when you can kind of just like lock it down and somebody can't, somebody else can't throw a 16 down. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of thought he was going to win just because I'm like, well, here it goes. Isaac's got the lead in the major, and the way he did it, that's pretty epic.
I agree. And then we lost Nick, I guess. We'll throw it to Ben or Evan, but I had a very similar feeling. I was like, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not rooting for Isaac to win. I think it would be entertaining because it's a major and he's gonna do it again. Like I would be excited if he won because of the storyline, but I'm not rooting for him because I actually wanted other players to win. I'm like, come on, Isaac, it's another major, and but I thought he was going to as well. Same reason as every other major that he's won, the most recent, he gets that little lead, like you said, Josh, and somehow he is consistently not making mistakes, and nobody can catch him. So this was exciting. He did put up a good fight. 3rd place still gives him that Major Robinson like nickname to me. Like that's literally still like impressive.
Plus, did you see his celebration in the background when Heimbergs?
Yes. That's so
But not
funny.
only like was it fun to see him celebrating, but it kind of looked like this little kid like popcorn. Just like all of a sudden,
was
he was
so
like Isaac, like
funny.
he couldn't contain himself.
Boing?
He's like boing, like Mario button.
I hope
like,
Alden
jump.
puts it in his vlogs and does a little sound effect.
Yeah.
like a Mario jumping effect and zoom in on Isaac. Boing.
So
Anyway,
what'd you think, Ben? Isaac Robinson, like, were you convinced? You picked him. Oh wait, I jumped ahead.
I picked.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
I picked
Pop
him to
drop.
win. I picked him to win, and I expected him to win. So
Nick picked him too.
I thought he was gonna win.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm picking him for
Major
Worlds.
Isaac.
It's a no-brainer. You gotta. Why not?
You're not picking Gannon for Worlds?
I'm out of Gannons.
By the way,
I would.
12% of people picked Isaac to win in pop drop off.
Wow, that really says something.
Put some respect on his name.
That
How many
really
percent for
says
Calvin?
something.
I do know there was one.
2%.
I just scrolled down a little bit.
Four
2%?
people picked him.
Okay.
So
Wow.
in transition to the course discussion, Josh, I will transition. By
Evan had a topic though.
Oh.
I'm cutting you off. Evan, were you going to say something? Or
I had a
we
quick
do
thing
move
about
back?
Isaac Robinson just to
Okay.
like prove the Major Robinson thing.
Okay.
Okay, so let's
Or
do
to
that.
compliment it.
Let's do that. Then I'm going to keep with the Isaac and the course, and we'll go into course. But so give your thought on the Major Robinson thing.
Yeah. I mean, real quick, just his average round rating from 2023 through the present day at majors, 1052.55. That's the best of anyone in that time span. So
Crazy.
one, that's kind of can settle it right there.
Awesome.
But two, when comparing it to his Elite Series average round rating, it's 14 points better.
It's a
Which
thing.
that's unreal. Like I mean, 14 points from one round to another isn't much, but like on an average scale, like that's difference between 1030, excuse me, and 1015, which is like almost a winning Elite Series events to not even like contending potentially. Like obviously there's outliers within that, but that's a huge jump. And then also quick note for Isaac with the walk-off ace to round two. That was also an 1101. I believe it was 1100 day of. Now the unofficial round rating is 1101.
All right, so
We'll see
stay
how it comes out to be official, but would be Isaac Robinson's first 1100 rated round, as he was very excited about. And then we also had two more during the round. So I believe there's one other in that round that he shot, and then Paul Macbeth. Calvin in round two shot 1100 as well. And then round
Right,
three.
talk about having your like a 15 down round
Overshadowed.
just because he throws a walk-off ace.
Yeah, right.
For a 15 down.
Yeah, which is insane. And then Paul Macbeth the very next day shoots 16 down, 1108
Scorch.
unofficial round rating, which I have plenty more about Paul Macbeth. I think we'll get there.
Yes.
But I know you were transitioning to something else.
No,
Matt,
that's
so I'll let
good.
you
We
take it
are
away.
going to get to Paul Macbeth. We'll come back to that. That was epic. So is there any commonality in the course style that that Isaac, maybe he wouldn't say he prefers, but that we see him doing well at? Like if we look at his major wins, we know W.R. Jackson, that they call that the most fair wooded course ever. Like it's not tight wooded from their own like conversation on it. Okay. Then you go to like Champions Cup this year, which was golf course, right? Lot of placement shots, but more or less open, but placement shots. You go here. Do you feel like there's any commonality? Is this like Worlds? What was that course down in, what was the name of that course?
Lynchburg.
Another golf
New
course.
London and Ivy Hills.
New
Okay.
London.
New London.
Ivy Hill, yeah.
Wooded.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Ivy
but
Hills.
Ivy Hill, obviously, where we saw him ultimately take it down. But like, that's another fairly open kind of course. I don't know. Is there any commonality here to his course preference and performance? Like if we take it to Northwoods, I don't know. We'd have to look at the stats here. Like, is this?
He won Champions Cup out at OTB Open. Was it Swenson? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Swenson.
That's what I just said. Yeah, the
Matt
golf
mentioned in
course.
the
Yeah.
golf course.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
He also
I don't
won
even I don't even
Idlewild.
think there's a I don't even think there's
He
a commonality
does super
for
well
him.
at
He just
USGC.
So
he just pops off.
yeah.
Okay, so and the commentators were talking about this. Isaac was throwing very far. The whole European Disc Golf Festival, the whole major that we just watched, like his adrenaline for majors, and I guess when we see him on coverage, you don't look at him as a power thrower, but on hole one, he was out throwing everyone. And I know it's more of a placement shot. Like they're not going for pure distance. I understand that a lot of them probably do throw further than him, but golf distance wise during these rounds, he was throwing very well, like extremely well. But he also has a really, really good, turnover game. Nose down, little Anheuser. He's not really a Heiser flip guy. He kind of just powers the disc flat and he gets it to do what he wants. And so he's fun to watch at majors, and he's just quick. He's He's fun to watch.
His worst events of the year, his bottom 3. PCS Open. Kind of wooded, right? Not like crazy, but wooded, little technical. Discraft Supreme Flight Open. What do you think about that course, Nick? Wooded?
It's like it's
hit lines.
It's not wooded. Yeah, it's more hit your lines, but it's not dangerously wooded.
But he's like,
it's also a straight to left course, right?
Okay.
There's not a lot of left to right movement.
Yeah, it's very righty friendly. So yeah, it's more
like power hyzer friendly.
Yes.
And then Nick's best performance ever, Waco. He placed 32nd. That was his worst. So Nick, what do you do better than him at Waco?
Oh God, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I was just trying to see if there's any like trending and like this is obviously whether it's sports betting or not.
Yeah.
By the way, people were mentioning that for Kristen's final round that sports betting was involved. We're not even going to go there.
Oh gosh, let's please.
We're not going there.
Not yet.
But so I'm turning the conversation now from Isaac.
Wait, I want
to
one last thing about
Go ahead.
Isaac.
Yep.
So we talked about Supreme Flight Open and Waco. Those are the first 2 to 3 events of the year. Supreme Flight Open being the first one. Major bag switch. This is Isaac's first year with Latitude 64. So that also, new putters, new fairway drivers, everything like that. I give them, players that switch sponsors, give them a little break.
And
right
PCS
off the rip,
Open, first event after traveling overseas. So there you go. I think we've explained it away. He's just good at majors.
We're good at making excuses for other people.
We're trying to figure it out.
I'm just kidding.
But I'll tell you, last comment on this, for real. He said in the interview that he literally used the other European events as just like warm up. Like, don't really care. I'm just warming up. So like, that's his perspective. That's the way he treats it. So now let's go to the course here. There are people who are talking about it. Mainly it's in social media that we see this stuff. You hear about it a little bit in the commentary as the event's unfolding because people realize there's a lot of birdies happening at the top level. They feel like they can't make any mistakes. The players are even saying some of that at the top level. But there's a big difference. Remember the year with Eagle and Paul taking down the European Open? It was just like they were far and above everybody else. I feel like a similar feeling here where it's like there's this top tier at this event, right? Where it was like they were far and above. Like not everybody's shooting 15 down. Not everybody was shooting 10 down. But at the top tier level, they felt like they couldn't make a mistake, and that pretty much proved true. My question here is, do you have any feelings, positive or negative, towards courses like this? I'm not talking so much the aesthetic. That's a whole thing we can get into. But right now, the course play. I'll start it off by saying I actually think it's fantastic. They're all the same course.
Ooh.
I don't really care. I think it was fun to watch. Anybody else?
I'll follow it up. I think it was fun to watch. Now saying this pre-show, I thought some of the holes were a little too routine for players, which maybe that's what we want to test them on, is making sure that they can hit those routine shots. But sometimes it almost felt like a slightly above good shot put them in a really good position. Like it didn't have to be a perfect shot, but it was almost like a good shot ended up being a perfect shot, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't an immaculate or it wasn't a great shot. It was just a good shot that you would expect these guys to make. And then they put it in the right spot. And then they had a pretty simplistic approach. Like it didn't seem entirely too hard. It was almost like throw that 400 to 450 foot flip up to flat hyzer, let it finish, and then kind of have either a spike hyzer like we saw, I think it was hole 4. And then also, a lot of overstable putt and approach discs, little putter turnover shots. Like it was very fun to watch. I do love these kind of, where you got to birdie everything. I think that shows all around skill when you have to birdie everything. If you can shoot 13, 14, 15, 16 down in a single round at a major, that's incredible. Nonetheless, whether it's at a par 3 style course or a par 72 style course, that's just incredible to be able to do that. So in that regards, I think it was fun. It made it exciting literally up into the final hole in both divisions. And I think that's what we want. We don't love to see the blow. Like Scotty Scheffler just won, was it the Open, the PGA major that was just going on? And he won it once again, kind of in a landslide in golf terms. Won it in a landslide. And so I was talking to friends at work today and they were like, yeah, it was fun to watch, but it's not as fun when Scotty just runs away with it. It's great for Scotty. It's great to see that happen because he's an incredible golfer. But at the same time, we want to see those tight battles. And that's what an event like this has given us. And I think we're seeing that more and more regardless of the course that we're at right now. But yeah, I think all in all is enjoyable. I think could it feel a little tougher. Yeah. But at the same time, it was fun.
I don't know. I like watching hole 17 and maybe it was hole 8. Just I want to see those players have to throw that shot that I would have a hard time doing, and many of them did mess it up. Josh, Ben, Evan. No thoughts on the course.
I don't know.
Course play.
I always speak up. I was waiting for Ben.
Specifically the course play. Like, did
I
you?
don't know. I don't know. I know some. Maybe this is. I know some of the like players like that I'm on tour with don't really like the course at all. So I don't really have an opinion on it. I think I'd have to watch it.
What do they not like about it? That they didn't win, or was it something else?
No. Like this is before.
It's not that great of a course. I have heard that from players.
Yes,
like it's been on the record. Like a lot of players don't think it's the best course by any chance, and I don't think that anyone's claiming it's the best course.
Yeah.
So I don't really have an opinion on it. Honestly, I think
how it played out is more what I'm asking. Like how it played out. Do you like that course the way it played out?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course. I mean, I feel like anytime you have like where like birdie or die and like everyone's close, it's gonna be super cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked it. I mean, I know you're asking just about the course, but I think the course is a result of a lot of other factors, including their desire to put it at, a prominent location in the city, kind of historical, right? Like grounds. So it kind of comes with the territory. So yes, in isolation, right? If you had a blank canvas, I don't even think if you had a blank canvas, they would probably design it slightly differently, which means we're acknowledging there's a trade-off in like end-to-end course quality. So I'd be like, yes, like it's not like the best course, but is it good enough? And given everything else that comes with it and the fact that I enjoyed watching it, and I'm fine with some events being like, I think you have to shoot it. It's doable to shoot 18 down. Is actually like exciting to me, and I understand not everybody loves that. The winning score for a 4-round event being 49 under, I'm just fine with it. That's never bothered me. So like it's I think if every event was that way, like maybe it would be different, because then it would start to be cookie cutter. Nick, to your point, like are we just testing certain like shots that are routine? I'd be like, yeah, if every week was that way, I probably would stop watching like every event, right? But every once in a while, it feels like it's the difference of watching like track and field, and then sometimes you watch like the sprint. Right. And then sometimes you watch the people have to run like the longer distances, and it's like, hey, it's kind of fun to see, right, what's happening there. Yeah. So I don't know, it's just how I felt about it.
Like, I'll kind of just point this at Matt. What is your favorite part to watch about a disc golf tournament? Is it the long drives? Is it the great putts? Is it the unique upshots? Like, what to you is your favorite thing to watch?
Ooh, that's tough. I like seeing the disc fly. So we got to be able to film it, obviously, and so sometimes it's a little tough to do things like that at Northwoods. And so like I like the woods if they can film it well, because you're seeing a disc fly well. I like courses that demand landing zones and not just like par threes. Throw everything in the circle, hit your putt. Of course, that's like really academic course.
Which some of the par threes here felt like that. Some of the par threes felt a little too easy.
But that's
and I say that.
I don't know. Yeah, I know, but it creates holes?
Meaning they had to execute it to do it, but it wasn't every hole. I feel like they had every hole was like birdieable, right? But a lot of them did demand somewhat of a landing zone for sure, and I like that. It's like a second shot. You got to do it again.
Yeah, like round one, we watched the feature card. What was it? All 4 of them were 5 down through 6 or something like that. They all had missed 1 hole in that stretch, right? But they were kind of like, they were getting hot early. But it's almost, in our sport right now, and we've seen this and we've complained about it over the last couple of years, it's almost a lost art seeing this kind of course be played, because we're used to seeing, let's just say, dynamic discs open, right? DDO. We're seeing long drives, we're seeing hyzer bombs, whether it's on the drive or the upshot. We're not really seeing players hit these more touchy shots, which in that aspect of things, they may look a little easy when the pros do them, but if we go out and do them, we're messing up those shots. We're not hitting that 10 times out of 10 like they are. So it was fun to watch in that regards of, we don't get to see it very often. We're not going to see it at European
like it
Open,
when
really.
It comes down to literally who's going to make the fewest mistakes. Because here's what you feel like. You're like holding your breath, because every shot should be parked.
Yes. I
Every
loved it.
every
Every shot should be
mattered.
parked.
Yeah.
Right, but
Mhm.
like I mean, right, like so
Yeah.
you're
It
like
was fun.
yeah, you're like it's kind of exciting. You're literally almost holding your breath because you're like, oh, like every tee shot matters. I'm telling
They
you,
only
you
got
watch,
to 45 feet.
It-
you know,
you
it's
watch
like-
you watch some events and you're like, every shot doesn't matter.
Yeah. It made 25 footers feel harder. It made
That's
us
what I'm
look at them
saying.
like they were a harder
I
putt
know.
because, Gannon Burr could be 14 feet. Isaac Robinson might be 28 feet. So when Isaac hits that circle one putt, it means a lot more when we're watching it
Yes.
than if, it's kind of
It
a runaway
really does.
or it in that regards of things, I think it actually helped out a lot. It was very enjoyable.
I
to
don't
watch.
care if it goes far under par either. I literally am not comparing this to golf. Sometimes I do, but in this aspect, I'm okay with it. I always bring this up. For those not from up here, you will not get this analogy, but in the Northeast specifically, right where the home of Maple Hill is, there's something called candlepin bowling. No, it's not duck pin. No, it's whatever you thought of.
Yes.
It's
Shout
literally
out
called
George
candlepin.
and Alice.
And the game is played in a lot of ways like bowling. So they're like cousins, if you will, or sister, brother. The difference is you get 3 balls. The balls are the size of bocce balls. You get 3 and they don't clear the wood. So if you hit it, they fall down. You get to use the wood to knock the other disc. Now here's the crazy part. You get the three balls and you get to use the wood that's dead on the alley. But the scoring is so much harder. In bowling, you're not happy if you don't break 100, like the typical 10 pin. In candlepin, if you break 100, you're literally smiling ear to ear. I did something exceptional tonight, and you go home happy. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because they're very similar, but if you compare them, I've heard people say candlepin bowling is so hard, and I'm going, they're different. It's not harder. It might be harder to score the same amount, but it's not harder in general to roll a ball down and try to knock pins down. It's just scored differently. I'm okay with disc golf being scored differently, looking similar in like the strategy of like throw less, do that. But like, I'm okay with disc golf being birdie fest. I think as long as it's not like a 200-foot hole, every hole birdie fest. Like I want to see it be like, you have to achieve it, par 4s, like some like skill, of course. But I'm okay with birdie fest. I think I like the preserve. I like when Gannon did it there. Recently at Maple Hill, they have a league where they literally picked every hole for this league. It's a handicap league, Tuesday nights. They sat through and they thought, what would be the most fun hole to play for? It doesn't matter what layout, where all the different courses that are there. What would be the most fun hole arrangement to play? They pretty much picked every single hole that should, quote, be birdied. Like there's not even like questions. It's like the highest percentage. Doesn't mean easy. It just means you walk away from every hole being like, I wish I birdied that, or I should have birdied that. Every single hole. And I think that makes that league super fun because who's on? I could shoot, I could shoot 15 down easily, even against the best guys that are there. But did I do it? No, I don't regularly do it. I'll shoot like 8 down. So I guess my point is it's fun to have those opportunities for the pros to do it is what I'm saying. And it keeps everybody in it. Raven Newsom, after round 1, is in second place, or at least for a while he was. And I know that because he was my pop pick. And I'm like, yeah. Like it put Luke Taylor, like it puts every player in contention to have that chance to win it. And then you see all the seasoned players who are less mistake prone that are able to pull it off. The most consistent players. Calvin, Gannon. I'm even putting Paul in there, and some people might be surprised. He is still one of our most consistent players. Ricky. Like, those are the players you're going to see come out.
The top 7 at this event was as clear to that point as you could make, which is really what you were doing. Like, to add in Isaac Robinson at 3rd, Anthony Brillo in 5th, Nicholas Antila in 6th, and Richard Wysocki in 7th. If you told me just, hey, here's a piece of paper, write down the 7 disc golfers who have the best chance to win, I don't know, worlds, might be those 7 players. Like maybe there's 1 or 2 names. You
Kyle
could throw in
Klein,
there.
I'd sprinkle
Kyle
in.
Klein in 12th. I mean, Simon Lazat any given weekend at 15th. Eagle McMahon, maybe if, he comes back to form, he's at 19th. Like that is speaking a lot of words right there.
Far, but
anyways, my point to add on to your point, Matt, is the leaderboard we saw here was the best disc golfers in disc golf.
yes. But
and
anybody could do
both
it.
fields.
But you have to
And
be good. Like you have to at the end be the
over
most
4
polished
rounds.
over 4 rounds. Yes.
Over 4 rounds. Like I hate the word fluke, but there is going to be no flukes at this course or really any other course we play. So I don't
One
know.
other, I rambled on a lot, but one other take that I sometimes do and don't like. This is going to be a little bit of a stretch, but the point will stand. Whether it's my son or me or you, Evan, or any Ben, like we go play on the red layout at Maple Hill against Paul Macbeth, against Gannon. We have a chance. It still may not be great, but our chances go way higher than if we're playing gold, right? And so that's what these courses do. It says, hey, you still have to beat this player. They're going to be able to play just their best too on this same layout, but it makes it more likely that more names could enter in. But as I'm saying, it's no fluke. You still have the best players who make the fewest amount of mistakes. And that's what changes with this course. It's about, and Josh, you said this, who's going to make the least amount of mistakes. So every throw, it has that feeling of like, hold your breath. And I like it.
Yeah, I mean, the individual rounds showed that. I mean, FPO, you look at the top of the leaderboard after round 1, you're like, what? Evan, you highlighted the Latvian player, right? It's like, wow, like, okay, where are all our players? But then, like, after 2 rounds, after 3 rounds, after 4 rounds, we get that. The same thing in MPO. I mean, the difference being in MPO in round 1, it was kind of the regular favorites, right? But then they just kind of stayed at the top and kept riding that. So, yeah, it's interesting. Like, not that pop drop lock means anything statistically, but it's relevant because listeners of our show play, right? And the top 6 players picked match the top 6 players that how they actually finished, with the exception of Calvin. Barely anybody picked Calvin, and he won, which is interesting because that's kind of how he plays, right?
Yes.
Which is like that actually represents like, oh, everybody knows he could win, but it's a major and probably not. But I don't know. We'll see if he's turned that around.
All right. Course aesthetics. We don't have to go forever on this. I have probably a similar take. I don't know if there's a staggered stance here. This event had more of, and I don't know if this is the right word. I think you'll know what I mean. A Red Bull vibe to it. Like a Red Bull event, right? Like just plastered advertisements, banners. It looks in the sense of like commercialized. All right. But like at a, I guess festival is the right word. Like, I don't know if trendy, edgy. It has this feel to it, not just being like a disc golf course in the woods. It felt, this is going to sound negative, but manufactured. Like we built this course specifically for this like event. And sometimes you don't get that feeling, but very commercialized. I don't know what else to say about it. I think the venue, everyone talks about it being something totally different. And the one main takeaway is always, they make us feel, I know I said aesthetics, but this is also the feeling surrounding it. They make us feel like true professionals. And I'm like, you are. But I guess they make them feel that way. So what do you guys think the venue? Have to be there?
Venue is the sickest venue of all time in all of venues.
Is that
Why, 'cause
also
they have
what
a
the pros
massive
are saying?
grandstand on 1 and 18?
Yes, that's
literally it, right?
Well, and 12 or
with the
so with it in the backdrop. That's one of my
Okay.
favorite aesthetic holes, just because
Mm.
you see
What?
the whole
Yeah.
amphitheater fest. I don't know what
Yeah.
it's called, but in the deep distance.
Well, what the pros say is like the ones that
What the
don't
pros
like the
say
course.
go.
What the ones that don't like the course say, like the stage is cool, but the course isn't. But hey, everyone likes the stage. I think it's
The
There's
stage
nothing.
is
There's
very
nothing not really like it that we have in disc golf. It makes them feel like actual professionals, in my opinion. Like that's the one time they actually probably feel like more like
It's
like wow.
yeah,
this
it's hard.
is-
It's
this is
hard, like
legit.
So-
not being there, because there's like 2 aspects of this, right? There's being on the premises, and then there's us watching live. So like we only have like a slice of that, and I think their event team has clearly communicated that this is about a major like on-site experience, right? So like that again, it's all mixed in, and every single person that I've heard on site says the experience is incredible. So like you can ask us what we think is watching it. And I'm like, well, watching it, I don't get the full effect, but I still thought it was awesome.
Yes. So that's the tough part to kind of give our opinion on this, is because we weren't there. So like I absolutely I think MVP Open is one of the best events to spectate in person. I think it's electric every single year. That to me is arguably the best hole one starting hole in all of the Pro Tour. And like disc golf right now.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. The grandstands aren't as big, but when Steve added those bleachers behind there, the massive tee pad, the kind of VIP area, I think it's awesome. But I get to go there in person and see it and experience it. So like hole one, I know some pros are saying, oh, this is the best hole one in disc golf. It's like, yeah, because they announce your name on a massive LED, monitor, and they play some music, and you come out, you're a rock star for a couple minutes, right?
Yeah, you get the hydrogen shooting in the air or whatever it is.
Did you
like,
change
and
it
that's-
your
and
mic? It's coming through screaming, or it did
Me?
for a little bit there.
What?
All right.
Who?
It might have just been on weird gain setting.
Okay.
Sorry, that was
So-
always
about
been,
now?
yeah, super loud, super loud.
So to me, it kind of, I don't know, awesome. I would love to tee off at the top of a stage like that. I think all the spectators being there is awesome. The whole one itself, I think, is slightly boring in my own, just my own opinion to it. But I don't know, because the festival is great. Everything about it is fun, and the people that are there absolutely love it. So I can't say anything bad because I'm seeing it from the size of a phone screen. You know what I mean? Like that's how I'm viewing it.
I think the
And so I
experience
can't
is
really
over
say-
the top. Like everybody loves it that's there.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
like
sure.
you're telling me you don't want to go to that.
I would love to go
sometime
to
if
it.
you-
Yeah,
if you're
tee
gonna
off
go to
on
Europe.
if I
Europe.
had the chance,
gonna
to
go to
do
Europe.
it, well, it's like I would love to tee off hole one at almost every single Pro Tour
Yeah.
event. Like there are so many great hole ones that would be really fun. Like Champions Cup this year did a lot for their hole one to make it feel like players are the rock stars, right? We are here for those players. So it was great. It was awesome. I don't have anything bad to say about it. It just, do I feel like it was the absolute best? Maybe it was. The Europeans, they do everything right. It
What
seems
about even like something like they have an actual podium for the end, and just like the whole like vibe. If you're watching any other top tier sport on like a Sunday afternoon, and you're channel surfing and you catch a sport that you don't watch a lot of, but it looks like that, even if you don't like the sport, you immediately feel like it's a real sport, whatever the word real means to you.
Yeah.
So like it just looked that way.
Yeah.
And I think that matters.
Like, I'm a huge fan of darts. There's a massive darts tournament going on, and before each round is played, before each match is played, they introduce the players. Now it could have been the second, third, or fourth time that night that player's been introduced, but they reintroduce them every time. And they put on their walk-up song. Every pro darts player has their own walk-up song, and they go through the crowd. Yeah, they go through the crowd. They're high-fiving everyone through it. They're signing a couple autographs, and they get on the stage. They kind of dance around for a second. It's wicked cool. I love it. Like that to me is almost like a party atmosphere. And in a way, that's maybe like I would love to go to this tournament that was just played because of that. Like that feels awesome to me. I don't really care for the whole one. I don't know. Throw a couple trees in there maybe, and maybe I think completely different about it. But anyways, yeah, kudos to them. It was incredible. I haven't seen pros think negatively about it. I mean, maybe some of them didn't like the course, outside of holes 1 and 18 and some other ones. But for the most part, I've seen nothing but positive reviews on it. And anyone that was there for Instagram or Facebook posts that I've seen had an absolute blast. And it seemed like one of the things that to me as I've played a few Pro Tour events. I loved finishing my round and having things to do at the venue rather than just having to leave right away and then go, back to my Airbnb or something like that. Like being able to spend time at the property after the round was also a huge thing for me that really made me like them even more. Like MVP Open has a ton of stuff that happens after the round. GMC, stuff like that.
I just love little things. This is like super hyper picky, but I'm just going to mention it anyway. But they demonstrate their ability to improve in real time. And by the way, lots of events, of course, do this. But did anybody see the end of the FPO round? They have all the 3 players on the podium, which, by the way, is interesting, right? Because you just had this emotional moment where Silva wins. Ella's happy. Kristen's maybe not. I don't know, right? I think it looks like she wants to probably go privately, like cry. Okay, that's fine. That's part of it. You get on the podium, then you got to shake the champagne and spray it around. Okay, so you're doing that, and then did you see? They're like, all right, now let's bring Nate Perkins up for the live interview, and he's for a second like, wait a minute, really? Like now? And he runs up on stage, hops on the top podium, does a full interview while second and third are still having to stand there.
Yes.
So like Kristen's
Silva's
still standing there.
Yes. Did you
I
hear
mean,
what
like,
And it's
Silva
just
said?
like super. Yeah, she
In
said
broken,
something about her.
I don't mean broken English as in like she doesn't know what she's saying. I mean it as in like she said it how she would say it, and she said something about the back nine. She's like, it won't be so nice, more or less to say how it went, because she's right there with Kristen. Like
Yeah.
that's how she communicated to me. It won't be so nice if I say like how this happened.
But my main point was saying is like it's tough to get things right when you don't get 100 chances at it, and so that's kind of a little bit of a mess up. And you'll notice in MPO they did not do that. They brought everybody up. They shook the champagne, which by the way, Gannon Burb maybe has never opened a champagne bottle with cork before. He could not get that open. Didn't know how to do it. Calvin, who's the champ, had to lean over and show him how to like pop the cork off. It was awesome. But my point is, then they let second and third place go, and then they brought Nate out and did a nice interview.
Yeah.
So anyway, just little things. I think that team, right? They got the multi-year contract, and they're going to keep ramping it up. And when you've got,
And it's going to be
by the way, you notice
worlds.
one thing we've barely talked about: the fact that their course was going to be destroyed due to mud. Like, so it's just, and we can go back to that, but it's just an example to say.
We
I
also
think
had a
this-
show. We didn't have a show the week where we might have talked about it.
Yeah. That's well, no,
Um,
we would have talked about it, but I'm saying now that it's over,
Yeah.
it's not a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this event team is obviously taking it probably as serious as any other event team out there.
One last bullet point on this event, and then there's still a lot of other cool things to tie up. But one last bullet point. I forget what they called it, but let's call it the All-Star Games of this event, the day before or 2 days before. Superstars. Thank you. Not All-Stars, Superstars. They did that right in so many ways where if they're doing it again, they will learn a lot, and meaning like they'll even do things better. But they did so many things right there. This is not a criticism on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. It's more of, this is closer to what I always wanted. That's how I'd like to say. This is closer. Like, it just featured it with game style. It was a venue. Like, frankly, I think it would be cool. Now I'm kind of saying what I think DGPT could do. Bring it to a stadium, college football somewhere, and do this. Put bullseyes out on the field, do the whole, whether you want to call it trick shots or not, like that's what we want to see. Distance comps through a stadium if they had a big enough one, accuracy, putting, like let people come in and fill the stadium, and let's have one place to watch it all. I know there's logistics to all of this stuff, but like they did a good job there. That's pretty much my take. And shout out to the Estonian team. That's an underdog story.
Hey, by the way, we need to be in their good graces. They paid and housed an entire other podcast member to fly out to Estonia and stay like at their venue, take in their event, promote everything.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't call us. So come on, Estonian Disc Golf. I'll come out in 2020
That being said,
Who went out there?
Ultra World.
Oh, gotcha.
that being said,
Yeah.
next week we'll be talking to Steve Dodge, and it's going to be about something special coming up for us and the MVP Open. I'll just tease it out. We're going to be at the baseball park,
Polar Park.
pre-MVP Open, and their tickets go on sale soon for this. But it's a big day, and maybe festival is not the right word, but prior to the MVP Open, a lot of players. There'll be
It's a
lots of stuff.
party.
So we will be there doing a live
presented
show.
by-
At least for the in-person people, we'll be live. I'm not sure we'll record it and put it up or if we'll stream it live. But either way, it's a big deal. It's going to be cool looking out over the baseball stadium while things are going on. So there will be that. Okay. Let's do Pop Drop Lock review quick, and then we have more topics. Let's get into Pop Drop Lock, I think. I don't have Evan's points up because he's not on regular enough. But if you are on popdroplock.com, you can see Evan's points weekly. So let's just ask Evan, what did you get for points? Let's see.
I got 99 this
99.
week.
99
top 3 of the
problems.
show. Finished right in the middle of the show, at least for this week.
Top 10 though at the
top 10.
yeah.
Which is to say the people, as we'll get to on the show, finished better than me, had very good weeks. Better than me. And
Hey,
I was in
only
top 10, so also
three
top 10.
only 3 people did worse than me this week.
So let's get into it. First up,
Gee.
Josh's points. Minus 39. So, what was your biggest downfall?
I mean, well,
Obviously, a lot.
Adam Hammis gave me minus
Okay.
46.
All right,
so
there it
thanks,
is.
Adam.
That's it.
I mean, he didn't even finish. He didn't make the cut, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There's
Just
other
missed
players
it.
we'll talk about too, but all right. Next up, Ben's point 65. I feel like it's getting harder as the season goes on. Some of these European events allow for
Yeah,
some
because
more
you
points.
keep picking the people I pick.
No, you pick the people.
Stop
I pick.
picking the people I
Pick
pick.
someone
You
different.
would have gotten the same points, and he got a lot more than you. So you picked differently.
It's true.
No,
we picked differently. Wait,
that he wouldn't have got those as many points.
I got
is what
way
I'm
more.
saying.
Here we go. Let's see. Next up, Nick. This is Nick's shining moment. Everybody.
This might be my best pop drop lock ever. Like in the existence of this game, this actually might be my best one.
Let's go.
That's all I can say. I was top 5 in the whole leaderboard this week, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Actually, I was 5th place.
That
Yeah,
is
just,
awesome.
you know.
And for me, just eking you out by 8 points and a second place finish on the week against everybody. Guys,
Sheesh.
I want to win the game that I invented at least once in my life.
No one has won it.
And
came
I
in
was-
second
Kearns
twice.
invented this. Kearns invented it.
Yeah.
I
No, I'm
invented
just
it?
kidding.
No,
I don't know.
it was
I
me.
forget how.
It was,
I
Was
don't
it?
think so.
but
Yeah.
5 points away. That was it. 5. And I'm looking at it right now because I can. My biggest, I would have, it's so hard to say I would have. I picked Raven Newsom, and after, like I said, the first 2 rounds, amazing. Then he shoots like 5 over par in the 3rd round, and then he shoots again like super under par in the final round. If he didn't have that one, I know that's how the game plays, but he was earning me like 30 or 40 points, and he got 6 at the end of this event. So that was close. And then Ricky
Spoke
Wysocki.
like a true disc golfer.
Yeah. So then Ricky Wysocki is the other one that was like, he got me 5. He could have did a little better, but 5 points off. That puts the season leaderboard. You can take a look at it. I'm sitting in 3rd place, 1 point behind second, and 57 points behind first. Ben, 8th place. About, what is that? 200 and something points.
160.
Yeah. And then I scroll down, Evan sitting in 46th in the season. Scrolling down, Josh, 108th. Nick, even with that grade, that pops you up a lot, but 156th.
Nick,
Yo, my cousin.
Nick Carl's cousin, everyone.
It's James.
Let's go. The appearance that we've all been waiting for.
Okay. The appearance we've all been waiting for.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
That's my guy.
So this is perfect. So give us some stats, Evan, on Paul Macbeth, because we said we'd talk about it. We don't have to spend a lot of time, but we had a little, flash in the rings kind of moment there saying, I'm still here and I can do it. I made lead card going into the last round. So what do you got?
Yeah, certainly. I mentioned the 11:08 rated round 3 unofficially earlier. That's his best ever round rating at a major. It's his 8th 1100 rated round of his career. So to start off with that, that's pretty incredible. Looking at Paul Macbeth at European majors, though, this is even more incredible, I think. He has now had 15 straight top 5s. Again, actually, that's all majors outside the USA, not just Europe. So includes really just the Australian Open. And that streak started at the 2013 Copenhagen Open, which he won, and has lasted all throughout those years until now, and continuing to be now. And in that, he has 8 wins, and his worst finish of that streak was this one he just had at 4th, which is to really shine on how incredible that is.
Wow.
Oh, I missed one big caveat with this whole stat is it excludes DNFs because he, of course, had that DNF at European Open just a few years ago. That's
Right.
a big one to note. So excluding DNFs, which, he wasn't maybe having the best event before that DNF, but still it was a DNF.
So that was awesome to see.
It's pretty good.
I think there's a
16
feeling.
down is crazy.
Yeah,
Anyway.
there's a feeling, right? And maybe it's for people who have been following disc golf since the days of Paul being the Tiger effect for disc golf. But like, if you've been following him since that time, I know there's probably haters out there, but if you've been following him since that time, you're entertained and you're always thinking to yourself, could this be the event? Is this the event? Is he going to do it? Like, you see him come in after round, you're like, okay, Paul's not shooting himself out of it. Like, you're making a storyline every single time now that Paul's playing in a major or almost any event now. And when you see him do something like the 16 down, at least I do. I know all of a sudden I'm like, come on, Paul. Like, you're rooting for the guy. I know how I felt again, like with Tiger going to the Masters and then winning that was like a moment of like, yes, like he did it again. I would be epically excited. We've never held back from saying we're fans of Paul. I would be epically excited. Like, I'm talking probably like dramatically jumping and fist pumping if he wins Worlds. Like, it will be over the top. I will be losing my mind. Not because he can't, but because the storyline is just building so much now, and we know he can. So I think it was really exciting to see.
Yeah, and if he does win a Worlds or just another major, that would tie him with Ken Climo for most in MPO, which is of course was mentioned on the broadcast, and that is the biggest thing that we're really eyeing with Paul McBeth. On the flip side is the time that it's been since he last won any major or Elite Series event. His last major win was 2022 Pro Worlds in Kansas in Emporia. That comeback over Aaron Gossage and pushing the playoff. Wow. Of course, the year after the Holy Shot. So all that was going through that. He's only won one major Elite Series event since then, which was 2023 PCS Open, which this year he did not do so hot at. And it kind of felt like, oh no, like when is it going to be? But of course he comes right back with this event and looks like he could win any weekend going forward. So I think that's one of the biggest things going into Worlds is we're still in this era of new life into MPO disc golf with Gannon Buhr being the face of the division, and then also Anthony Barella being, you know, maybe the most incredible player within that, who still wins pretty often, but not as much as Gannon. So even with all of that, I feel like it's still this looming Paul McBeth storyline going into these events.
All right.
Yeah.
When's the last time Paul missed like that putt that he missed on hole 18, round 2? It's the little things.
If you
that
haven't
add up.
seen it, there is a little clip of it going around, but Paul missed a short one. And then he says in an interview that it caused him to reflect and to putt for another hour following that.
And then throw a 16 down. So
and
I guess losing a stroke
putt.
and throwing like the new course record, I guess, like if you average out, that's a good strategy. Yeah. But I don't know.
All right.
Reflect every round.
Yeah. Lightning
round of finishes here, finishes in MPO specifically, because that's what stood out to me. And then I have a question for Statmando. So Greg Barsby, really cool. 17th place finish. Greg Barsby, old time. I call him old time now. We're the same age probably, but Greg Barsby doing that is pretty cool. Nate Sexton's over there. He didn't get 17th. I think it's just cool to see Greg, world champion, still trying to do that stuff and doing it well. Jakub, and by the way, good to see Greg doing it. He's mentioned some ankle injury issues this year, so that's partly why we haven't seen him around a lot. Jakub Simrad, interesting in the other direction, goes from playoff, 5-hole playoff to 86th place. He makes a comment in social media that says, I never really do that great at deuce or die or not deuce, birdie or die courses. He goes, I'm excited to go to Worlds where it's not the case. So kind of his take. And I feel him in a lot of ways. I'm not a good birdie or die player, especially when it's par threes. A lot of people are parking holes. I like par fours. James Conrad misses cash. Now, this isn't like massive as far as like, where's James Conrad been? But they did something that I think is cool. In some ways, they try to tell a storyline. They put him up on the live feed and said, this is for the putt for making cash, or the cut. And he was like 40 something feet on hole 18. They have a camera right on him and he misses. Like, I think you got to do it. It's the story. And I think it makes it more exciting to see every player have a story. If he made it, it would have been just as cool of a story. I mean, it would have been a cooler story, but my point is it's a story that needs to be told.
You know what's so weird about that, by the way? Like, he finishes the event at -9, and somebody like 5 spots above him finishes the event -4.
That's tough.
It's because of the cut.
Well, because of the cut, and then they had a 9 over round, right? So
yes.
but it's just like, oh, sorry.
Well, it was like last weekend during the playoff, Ben and Jakub, like Ben won it playing more disc golf than third place.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
you know,
exactly. Yeah, he had more throws.
Exactly.
Luke Humphreys finishes 9th. Top 10 for Luke Humphreys, which he's this kind of course you'll see him pop
He's
up
good.
on, where it's not a bomber course. It's he has to
But he
throw
can
decently
bomb.
far. Yeah, you have to throw decently far. You have to throw pro level far, but not elite. And as long as you're landing your spots, he can birdie every hole. Good job for him. Nicola Castro, 98th place. Now, he hasn't been like a real storyline this year. I think he's averaging somewhere in like the 50s or 40s even. Like, so nothing. Let me see. I have it right here. 42. So not like crazy, like where's Nico? He's 98th, but interesting. I heard through somehow social media, or I don't know where on the feed, but Nicola Castro had received a warning for time. He's in Europe. We all know how that went down one time when this happened. I'm not saying that has anything to do with his 98th place finish. He didn't make the cut, but I find interesting is that happened again for him in Europe. And I don't know if it gets noted other places. Maybe it happens other places. That's not really my point I'm trying to make. Just 98th. And then the last one here that I found interesting in trivia to you guys last week. We didn't have a show, and I was sending some trivia / stats to the group. Lauri Lettinen. He was the best average player. His finishes. I'm saying finish as in like Finland. I don't mean that. He finished, his placement on tour was the best average, even above Gannon, of players who had at least three events. And he was averaging like third place. It was wild. Or fourth place. Even coming out of this event with an 11th place finish, he is still the second best finisher on tour at 6th place, averaging after 4 events, including a major. That's like, let's see. Will that trend carry? After Worlds, 5 events, and that's a lot of the best players. If he's still trending in that like top 10 or even close to 5th or 6th, that's a name we're going to have to watch more of. And then go ahead.
Can I backtrack really quick?
Yep.
Why did Nico have a Marshall on his card? Do you think someone
Well,
kind
they
of called
come
it out
over.
and said,
Yeah.
can you send a Marshall out?
I think they come over. They watch cards, dude. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
marshals watch live scoring, and they can see where backups are happening.
Yeah.
And then they go.
Or someone reports to the TD saying, hey, this card is being slow. Can you send someone out to speed him up? Yeah. So
Definitely could happen.
because then it does it bring up the conversation of certain players being targeted. I know that's a whole spiel that we're not going to get into right now.
Am I
But
imagining that
just
Gannon?
curiosity.
Am I imagining Gannon was warned too? Did anybody else hear that? I feel like I heard that. Maybe it wasn't here.
Honestly, go to Disc Golf Fanatics Facebook page, and that's where I see anything European related. Like that's where I saw the Nico warning, whatever.
Here's the question for Statmando, and I think you guys can do it easy. So you don't need an advertisement from us, but how many? This might be harder though. I'm seeing 6 different MPO players in a row. When was the last time we've had 6 different MP? Is it more common than I think?
Winners?
Yeah, in a row. Whether it's elite or a major. I'm looking at it going, man, I know we have like new winners, obviously like Ben Calloway, Ezra Aderhold. So like that contributes, but we had in a row Niklas, Gannon, Ezra, Adam, Ben, Calvin. And I'm just curious because I feel like of years past, we have a lot more dominance in the players who are winning. And so I don't know if you have 6 events go in a row with different winners like that. I'm just curious if this is the longest stretch where we haven't seen a multiple winner. So,
yeah, that's a good question.
And I hate to say it, but if you got rid of Gannon's done it twice, but if you got rid of Gannon just for the number's sake, then you would have Mari, Anthony, Isaac. You could add that right in. So, I mean, we're talking almost 10 in a row. We have 1 double up. So it's been pretty epic.
Yeah. That's a little tougher one to get to.
Because you got to count.
But I like it, and I think you might be onto something because my hunch tells me that would be the
years
most
or ever
unique in a row.
Interesting.
I mean, I think so. You just got to think about, years of dominance.
If Statmando posts that, just a little thanks to Staggered Stan. No, you don't have to do that. I'll just smile to myself if I see that stat go out. That's pretty. I will be interested to hear that if we can. So,
yeah, would be crazy going into Worlds if you got to pick the players who just can't win. Like, who can you leave? which, hey, one of them would be, well, we just talked about Paul McBeth, but also Ricky Wysocki. Don't mean to play down on the guy, but it is certainly a story every time we go to a major, and we're going right into another one. But now it has been 23 majors in a row without a win for one of the all-time leaders in major wins. But it's been 2017 Pro Worlds was his last major win. That's what, eight years ago. And I forget what time of year that was. If it was July or August. So if we hit that full 8 years yet, is the question. But anyways, 23 majors in a row. The crazy thing is he has not finished worse than 12th place in that entire stretch. Just he's not winning. But like just this past week, played great. What was it? 7th place. Played great. Just, still a bit off the lead and, unfortunately not going for the win. But still as good as ever. He also has yet to win any major or Elite Series event in this season, which he's been doing that for a number of years. I think 2011 was the first year he did and has won throughout. Maybe it was 2010 when he got first one. I should know that. But either way, he's been winning for so long. And now, like Paul McBeth, going now 2 years without a win, Ricky Wysocki is starting a similar streak, not winning in 2025, that is.
Well, 1/4 of our players this week picked Ricky to win, believe it or not.
Well, you picked him as a lock, to be clear, which Ricky as a lock at majors, like there's only been a few times he's finished outside the top 10, which is how you get points for the lock. So just to make that caveat there.
It is true.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is true. Yeah, I was hoping he'd win, of course, but I was picking him as probably, in my mind, consistent to at least get the top 10. So,
yeah. I have a couple more stats I want to throw back to Calvin Heimberg because we kind of brushed over what this win was and how monumental it was. But just to fly through them quickly and then carry us on one specific topic, thrown over to you guys too. But the broadcast said it plenty, but I do want to note that he had the most Elite Series wins without a major win, most of anyone in MPO at 11. But now, of course, he is totally off that list by getting a major victory. He had a 1080 event rating, which is still unofficial, but that's the best major rating of all time, beating Eagle McMahon's 1074 at the 2022 European Open, which everyone knows and we mentioned earlier is that battle between Eagle and Paul McBeth. He finished 49 under par, which is the lowest score by anyone at a pro major or Elite Series event in the last 5 seasons. And that's as far back as my calculations go for the hole by hole level. So it could go even further, but I suspect maybe Memorial or some of those, 8 or 9 round worlds might beat that record. But definitely of the recent stretch, that's the best score. This is also Calvin Heimberg's first win outside the USA at any PDGA event. It's also his first podium of the Major and Elite Series season. He's had a bunch of great finishes, and his average finish was probably pretty good, Matt, but just missing any podiums, which it's crazy because we're like 2 years removed where he finished on the podium so many times and finished top 10 at practically every event. So crazy for him. And it was kind of monkey off the back moment to get that first major win. He had the 3rd most major starts without by the time they get their first major win. So Barsby and Brinster are number 1 and 2 at 33 and 32 starts at majors. He ties Nate Sexton at 24 starts by the time they got their first MPO major.
You could see the monkey off his back. That was part of the emotion. Imagine playing that long and being that good and believing in yourself and having a chance at more than one major in the past. Yeah. And then messing up on hole 17. There's just so many things building, right? Like a decade, and then hitting a really big, tough putt. And I doubt this has any real factor at play, but just the visualization of he had to line up over Gannon Buhr's putt. When I say over it, it was 20 feet in front of him. But I mean, it's like tombstone edge, and it's just the disc is staring him in the face, being hit this putt or else. So I just thought it was cool.
And lining up that putt, I could sense it was a different Calvin Heimberg lining up that putt. The stereotypes around Calvin are, maybe he doesn't care that much and he's just out there throwing frisbees, kind of whatever. Maybe shoots great in the final round, but kind of out of it by the time he gets there. But that putt, I think it was clear as day that you saw how much he wanted to make that 42 footer. that one meant a lot. He knew what it meant. He was lining it up and he felt, probably nerves. Probably had the pressure and knew what it would mean to make that putt, but he was determined to make that putt. And like he was debuting it all weekend and apparently a few events previously, but I just never picked up on it. I don't think most of the world picked up on it either. But the new kind of pre-putt dart routine from Calvin Heimberg.
Yeah.
I don't think we mentioned that
a
yet,
little
but
bit ago, but yeah.
Yeah, that's, whole new style of doing it. And Matt, I'll let you take away this comment.
Yeah, I was just putting up from Understable Dave. He said he thinks it's better that Calvin missed the putt on 17 because it made the putt on 18 even that much sweeter and more memorable.
It made it more exciting. That's for
It
sure.
was cool. Did you see? I think he took longer than usual, which is fair. And his hand coming up, I know that's one of his things. He kind of lines up. He did that more than usual, just lining it up, like over and over. And I'm thinking, man, he is trying to dial this in. And then when it was so in the heart, like perfect, I was like, and he did it. And just, you love seeing all of his muscles just tighten up and just jumping like, yeah,
super excited.
Epic. So congrats to him again. Okay, I have two shorter topics here. DG and Pro, some people still complaining. How come I can't watch a major in my regular subscription? And I don't know if that's how they talk. I'm just trying to personify what I read. And I don't have an issue. Like, I know not everybody has extra $6 laying around, but for 1 month, you could get European Disc Golf Festival and Worlds. And you could have gotten other special bonus features that they have, including Jomez or whatever, post-round coverage, all this stuff. For $6 more for all of the events in 1 month. It's not that wild. I'm over that, like, people complaining about it. It's not unusual. They think the Pro Tour might be shooting themselves in the foot because they're not making it free for everybody at our biggest stages. There's different ways to look at it. I get that. And that's different marketability ideas. But if it comes to just saying, like, the cost is too much, no, definitely not.
So real quick before we throw it back to Evan about Junior World stuff. So every year the Masters tournament, you download the Masters app and it's free. And I love it because I get to watch the Masters every year, whether it's on my phone or I go to a friend's house and we, throw it on the TV or whatever. But you get to just watch it. It's there. It's free. I don't hate that idea for either Worlds or USCGC. I think put our sport on the biggest stage that we have, which arguably those two are the biggest for me personally. I think Worlds is. Throw it out into the world for free. I don't know how you make that happen, but even with DGN, let everyone download it and then get Worlds for free. And I think you see a massive spike in viewership. And then when people have a good experience from it, I think that's what helps bring them back. Now, that's just my take. That'll do, my friends.
That'll do. Ben, what do you think? You're a marketing guy.
Do you keep muting me? I don't know what's
That's
happening.
because it's super hissing. Because when you say quiet, it lifts your gain up.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, honestly, I'm sort of I am with Nick on this. I think Worlds being free is actually a great idea, especially for a growing sport, for people to get hyped about it and like for people to tell. It's something we talk about. I was in Beast Games last year, and one of the guards, as I was competing, I was like, "Yo, can you look up the score for Worlds?" And he's like, "Isaac Robinson is leading." And the reason I mention that is because like Worlds is important. It's more of a talking point. It's like I wanted to know the scores, and that's something you can tell your family members. Like, oh, it's the World Championship of Disc Golf is happening. You should definitely check it out. I think I do agree with that. I think sometimes you just gotta take a marketing loss in the sense for gain.
Yeah, it's
possible
interesting.
they've done the It's possible they've done the calculation, and it's not. It's not what you say it is.
Yeah. No.
In other words, enough people. No,
but like
buy.
still, it's just
totally
like
true.
I don't know.
Ben, if you could get X amount more people at your expos, but you had to cut your price in half. If you knew it for sure, you might do it. But if you're not sure, then you take a huge loss by just letting everybody in. You know what I mean? Like they must feel it out.
Yeah, but I've also done things that like were not in the best interest of me making money, but it was in the best interest of getting people to the show or like getting more people excited and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I could be making a
but-
lot more money on the expos, but I decide not to for a better product.
Yeah, staggered stance here, meaning I could see it either way. And I'm not in their shoes to have made that decision in marketing, right? Maybe they're happy and satisfied. But let me just wrap it up by asking you guys this. Do you feel like $6 is too much, Ben, to watch 2 different majors? $6.
No, not at all. But I don't know. I think it's just the fact that it's under another paywall after you already pay for money.
I literally was like, oh, I want to watch European Disc Golf Festival. I literally just went to Disc Golf Network where I was going to watch it. I just clicked upgrade, done. It was one click.
I'm saying like I don't care. I'm just saying that's probably why. It's just another level. It's kind of like, I don't know. Like there's Netflix with ads now, and Netflix without ads.
Yeah,
it's like
that.
It's like, but I already have it. Like, why do I have to upgrade even more? Like, I'm already paying you. That's probably the whole dilemma.
And it's because they've done. Here's why: they've done the calculations and they make more money that way. That's why they do it.
No, I'm for the Pro Tour having to make money. They need to make money for this. Like, I think, like, I'll be honest. Last year's model of Pro or whatever, no one was signing up for Pro, and because it didn't feel like there was enough benefits to sign up for Pro. Now, if you're putting tournaments behind it, people are going to buy it. Like Ed Root in the chat, he literally said, "I bought Pro for the last round of MPO, and I'm so glad I did." There's going to be so many people like that. Yes, that sign up and try out Pro because and probably stick. That's just the subscription-based model. You upgrade and then you forget about it. Like, I have a subscription to Planet Fitness, and I don't think I've gone in a year.
Ooh, that's terrible.
And I still have it.
Yeah, take some financial advice. Don't do that. And take some fitness
I keep
advice.
Because I'm on the road in case I need it. I have used it. But it's not like enough to justify is what I'm saying. I have used it, but it's not like as often as I should.
If you take, I'm doing quick math. I think you get half off from DGN if you're a PDGA member, so I have to factor that in. And I keep saying $6 because I already had the DGN standard, and then I went to Pro, something like that. So it's not just straight $6. It's probably closer to $10 if you had nothing. But if you just straight up pay the DGN Pro with the discount from the PDGA, it's like $4 per event for live disc golf, which ends up being 3 rounds, throwing worlds 4 or 5 rounds. Like, it's not that wild. So the price should not be a discussion. I would be more open to the, hey, marketability, what does that look like? So, and then last topic I have, and then I would be interested in some Junior World stuff. Unfortunately, we didn't make it out this year, but I watched every live score that was possible of the players we knew. But here's one last question for you guys. It's a little early, but we've been kind of following this now. FPO, we don't need to say player of the year, but when you look at it now, Holland has, since we last talked, she has 4 wins, 3 seconds, 1/3. Kristen has 3 wins, 6 seconds. Silva has 3 wins, 3 seconds. At this point, if you want to base it off of wins and podiums, it looks to me like it's probably Holland. At this point, does anybody disagree?
Yeah, stats don't lie.
6 seconds is pretty good, but you just are 1 less win.
And she's top 5 throughout the whole year, right? Hasn't been out of the top 5. Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. Is that true?
Right?
Evan?
I
said that earlier.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
13 for 13 and top 5s.
That's
I think
insane.
It's 13.
Yeah.
100%.
Talk about consistency. We call Ricky Mr. Consistency. We got Mrs. Consistency in the FPO side with Holland Hanley right now. So
that was my lock.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. I
agree. But if Silva or Kristen go out and get a win at Worlds, it's maybe.
If Silva wins Worlds,
completely
she's
agree,
the
Josh.
player.
Yeah.
If Kristen wins,
so
Worlds,
I'm agreeing it's Holland. I'm just saying it's close. It's not. The debate's not now, but it's a close
If
race.
Silva wins Worlds, this will be guys. We got to focus on our takes for Worlds because I'm leaning Silva.
Silva's winning. Silva's winning.
Oh
by 5.
my goodness! See, I'm not sure. This is wild. This is gonna be the best FPO year ever. It already is, but this is gonna be awesome.
And for what it's worth, like Worlds is the final FPO major of the year. like USDGC's later, throw Pinks alongside of it.
Yeah.
But like still will be incredible title to win. Plus, you know, the Pro Tour playoffs, the Pro Tour, including the Pro Tour Championship and other DGPT Plus events. I think there's 2 more Plus events and 2 playoffs and the championship. Like there's a lot of top tier events left to win anyways. But yeah, I think there's 5 women who have 2, like multiple wins. Like, I mean, you can't count Missy Gannon and Evelina Salonen out of it. They both have a major win as well. And I think it's probably just those 5, which is crazy to say just those 5 because that's a lot of players to factor in. But I think you can call, you know, maybe front runners right now. I might give it to Holland Hanley as my front runner, but literally all 5 of those have an incredibly good chance of winning it. Just depends on who wins the most events the rest of the year. And even then that like might not say all of it if they all share the pot of events.
Yeah. If Silva wins, number 1 in my book for sure. And probably statistically, but that's a major. So, all right.
Burns, hit me with some Junior Worlds recap.
All right. Well, I'm just going to hit the winners real quick and maybe just a few other notes with it. They're in MJ, FJ, 18 and 15. All 4 of those winners were first-time major winners. We have Bennett Domeland from Kansas, and I hope I'm pronouncing all these names right. He finished 58th last year at Junior Worlds and missed the cut to then go to this year and win it. That's an incredible story. And Deputy from Georgia wins. Colton Lawless from Texas.
That's my guy. Shout out Colton.
Oh, yeah? Lawless?
Yeah, well, I met him down in
actually?
Florida. Yeah, Florida this past year. He's a little... Dude, he's a miniature Paul Krantz. They have identical form.
Wow.
It's insane.
Nice.
But him and his father are awesome. They are incredible people from Texas. Super, super, super great people.
Yeah, my son got to compete with him in rounds. Not this year, we weren't out there, but the previous year. So,
yeah,
nice.
He's awesome.
And Finn Eder from Vermont. I've seen him play some events around
Big
here.
fan
I don't know
of
if I've
Finn.
seen him in person. He finishes in second.
He was leading, and I hate to
podium.
say this because if he's listening, he's probably sad by it, but he was leading almost the whole event. It was tight coming down the stretch. So
tough competition. And then to round out those divisions is Alison Tweedy from New Zealand, who gets her first major win and a 2-hole playoff over Brooklyn Okrafka from Canada, who had a notable ace, I believe, somewhere through the tournament. I remember seeing that on social media. I don't have the scores directly up to remember. But Alison Tweedy, one of 2 New Zealanders to win this weekend, and I'll have more on that in just a second. MJ12, we have Cole Kresge from Pennsylvania getting his second major win. In FJ12, Eva Lutsenko from South Carolina getting her 4th major win from 4 starts, 100% win rate. And go ahead, Josh.
Just Cole for the whole tournament, right? So it's a 5-round tournament. He aces the last hole.
yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
He didn't need it. Yeah,
Well,
he didn't
No,
need
he was
it.
already winning. But still,
Win by 8
imagine
strokes.
like the
sick
very
is
last
that,
hole
though?
of a 5-round
He
tournament.
could have laid
for
up
a-
3 times.
for a
and he's like, I'll
junior
go for the
major,
ace.
and he aces it.
Yeah. In MJ10, Hudson Casper from Kansas gets his first major win by a stroke. Also on the podium, Preston from Tennessee, who's so much fun, him and his dad, on social media to watch. I got to give them a shout out because I enjoy watching them. But those, not to point out just one person, a lot of great players in the field. I got to play neutral here. FJ10, we have Sarah Wadsworth from New Zealand. She's the other New Zealander to win. 34-stroke victory. She's incredibly good. 3 straight Junior World wins now, crossing divisions from FJ8 to FJ10 now back-to-back. Her 4th major win, she won U.S. Women's earlier this year as well. One of 2 New Zealanders to win at Junior Worlds, as I noted. Also, there's 2 New Zealanders to win at U.S. Women's last month, which was Sarah Wadsworth and Amy Whitmore. Now we have seen 7 total major victories from New Zealanders, which I believe that's the correct way to say that. I mean, they also go by Kiwis, I think, right? Like that's what they go by. I don't know. Very cool down there. I wish I had more context. The coverage from the offseason down there looks incredible. New Zealand disc golf looks like it's booming. But 7 total major victories from players from New Zealand, which now puts them 1 behind Finland and Estonia from all divisions in majors. And Estonia only has 2 major winners. Kristen Lott and one other person who I don't have their name written down have 8 total major victories combined. And New Zealand's coming for that. So I think that, New Zealand is 7th most major wins all time. And then the last 2 divisions, we got MJ8, we have Marky Laval getting his first major win, and FJ8, we have Nora DeJong from Florida with getting her first major win, which is so
And
incredible.
Look, Matt and I ran junior events for a long time, so we have lots of perspective. The only comment I'm going to make on this specific piece, literally, there's no sarcasm here. Congrats to Nora, the last name you mentioned, Evan, because like it is persistence at their age. Just so everybody's clear, she was 103 strokes over par, which, by the way, maybe there I would have some secondary commentary on course design, but that's for another day and another show. But like persistence, I mean, that is a grind, and she won. So yeah, congrats to Nora. Imagine throwing 103
I don't
over
know
par.
the exact ages, but may have just finished second grade or first grade.
Yeah, it's
Like getting kids that young, like that's incredible that they're so invested in the sport. Probably have families who are invested in disc golf as well.
third place was 193 over
yeah.
par. So let's stop complaining about 49 over. What do you think, guys?
49.
Also, and deputy you mentioned. What division was that?
FJ 18.
And she's like 16, so she's not even in the oldest in that division, right? She's younger, and I got to play around with her dad, Zach Deputy, which if you don't know, he's a musician that tours the U.S., so you can check him out. He does really cool music.
Oh, I recognize the name.
Yeah, I got to play with him at Maple Hill a few weeks ago, and he was talking up his daughter, which, by the way, I love. Some people are always like, Matt, why you talk about your kids so much? I'm like, dude, I'm a proud dad. When he was talking about it, I was just like, dude, I love that you're talking so much about your daughter and how good she is. And he goes, watch. I believe it. She's going on the pro tour this coming year. So what I will say is watch for her then. I think you'll see her name in the pro tour this year and deputy.
Yeah, I may not have written down. There's definitely some people I was looking up who had played pro tour events. And I think Ann Deputy was one who has in the past. Maybe not. Yeah, in 2024,
U.S. Women's.
She played Jonesboro and LWS Open. Finished 41st at both, which is crazy. Finished the exact same place at both. So missing out of cash, but lots more to grow. It's just the start of a career. And winning FJ 18 is quite the start to a young career.
So there you go. Ben, as we close out, you want to give us your best European commentary? I think it was Essa. Can he do it? He can.
Yeah, dude, we were talking in the group chat. Me and Matt thought about the same thing at the same time. It was like Willie Heiser. Oh no, it does. Like we were just being like, Essa would be like, he has a tap in right under the cage. Can he drop it in the basket? He does.
No, it's not. But sometimes it's the other, right? It's just like oh no. Like, Brian, did my eyes just see what I think they saw?
Yes, see what I think I saw. We love it. To be clear,
this is the best.
Literally,
Pro Tour, give Essa a raise.
Zero knock.
Yeah, give him a raise. Make sure he comes over to the U.S. Yeah,
I was just gonna say the reason I'm laughing is not because it's funny or being made fun of. It's because we have so much entertainment from it. Like, I absolutely
quality
love it.
Right?
Yes, like it's
I love listening to them.
You're bringing joy to Americans everywhere. So I just thought that was fun. We definitely had it in our group chat this week. It's entertaining to say the least. I think Brian and him do a fantastic job.
They do. Agreed.
All right.
Cool.
Oh,
one major.
Music. That's the guest music.
No, not one major, but I mean a major down, another one to come. Not this weekend.
We will do a little preview of Worlds. We'll get our
the
picks
World
next week.
Championships are coming up, everybody. This is the time to subscribe to DGM Pro. Make sure you can watch all of the action. Not sponsored by them, nothing like that, but I just want you guys to all watch some incredible disc golf at two of the best courses in the world. Super excited for it with one of the best event staffs running this event. So anyways, shout out to all you guys for tuning in tonight. It was an awesome show. The chat was really popping off. We really appreciate everyone being here. Titan Disc Golf, make sure you check out their website for all your disc golf needs. Then also Hooligan Discs as a part of our Pop, Drop, and Lock segment. Appreciate those guys very, very much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out on all your favorite podcast platforms. Tell someone you love them this week. We'll catch you guys all in the next one.
Yeah, thank you, Evan.
A lot going on.
Yeah, shout out Statmando. Turns. Hey. Appreciate it, dude.
Felt like old times. It's so natural.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
20% of the personality, 30% of the content. It was good.
100% of a good time.
Titan Disc Golf. I'm laughing now. TitanDiscGolf.com. Competitive pricing. Go check them out. We talk about them a lot. We really mean it. We love what they have over there for an option. Very professional. Everything you need. All right, guys. Until next time, we'll catch you out there, everybody. Peace out.
Later.
Peace.